My key takeaway for today is that if you really want to stand out today, not just from your competitors, but also from AI, it's essential to build your brand in every country and region. And to do that, you need to truly understand your audience in each market, personalize your content for them across the right formats, and always make sure you are showing EAT through all your different channels. Hi, I'm Gemma Fontané, and this is SEO in 2026.
Gemma, what's your number one SEO tip for 2026?
My number one SEO tip for 2026 is to focus on personalization, adapting your content in each language and across different formats to really build your brand in each region. These actions will allow you to stand out from your competition, demonstrate authority and expertise, compete in multilingual markets, and stay visible in the era of generative AI.
Okay, so let's dig into why personalizing content is key and how it actually is implemented in practice. So how do you go about personalizing content?
Okay, first of all, I think that personalizing content is very important nowadays because search engines today are rewarding depth, expertise, and true relevance in order to stand out, if you want to stand out there. And in 2026, with AI-generated content everywhere, what really will make the difference is cultural, linguistic, and format-specific personalization if you really want to differentiate your brand. So, how can you do that? I will do two different things. On one side, for example, if I want to start my strategy in the new market, or if I am already working on that region, on one side, I will do an EAT analysis to analyze which are the channels that will help me to show expertise, experience, trust, and authority. I will analyze which are the main experts, how people show trustworthiness through different formats. And also what I will do in order to personalize content is to do a multilingual keyword research in each market. This will not only help us to know what are people looking related to my product or my service, but also will help to understand me how people are looking for my product. Multilingual keyword research will help me to understand how people are looking for this product in each market, and this will help me to assess the best strategy related to the format. For example, if we do this kind of market research, we will know if people are looking for images related to my product and a step-by-step guide, or maybe a video that will help them to really understand, know, or maybe buy our product.
Okay, and one of the things that you said at the beginning there was you conducted an EAT analysis. So how do you go about doing that?
Okay, I will do it on one side. For example, I will analyze by each letter: expertise, experience, trustworthiness, and authority. And I will do it differentiated for each market. For example, expertise. Here I will analyze how people in each market show that they are the top experts on that product. I will analyze my competition. I will analyze the top directories and magazines, how they show that they really know about that product. Related to experience, I will do, for example, also competitive analysis, but also a keyword research to show how people are looking for my product related to informational keywords and commercial keywords about that. On the authority side, I will analyze also other website directories. I will do a backlink analysis to see how other sites that are relevant on each country show that and which kind of content they do. And related to trust, I will also analyze my competitions and see which kind of signals they use to show that they are a reliable source. For example, through payments methods or through other actions that will help them to show that.
Okay, and it's all very well doing that when you actually understand the market, but you also talk about international markets as well. So do you get someone else to do that EAT analysis on behalf of yourself who understands the local market a little bit more if you don't know the market?
Yeah, I would recommend to also work with native or local SEO experts in each market, although not always it's possible, depending on the size of the agency or the company. My number one recommendation and tip will be go for an agency or for some freelancer or local expert in this market But if you don't have if you cannot do that, do a guide that is useful in your market and try to duplicate this and do the same analysis in the country, and also try to get all the knowledge that you can.
Now, you also say that multilingual personalization helps you outperform direct competitors in international SEO. So what do you mean by multilingual personalization?
Multilingual personalization is not only to understand each region, but also understand all the different audiences related to languages that live in the region. For example, in Spain, where I live, it's one market, but here are different languages that are used. That's why it's important to not only understand the market, but to analyze how in each region and which is the most common language that people talk or the official ones, and try to personalize this content to this kind of users, because it will help you to have better performance and to connect more and connect more with your audience.
Got you. Okay. So are you talking about, in the local market, are you talking about offering perhaps content in Catalan as well as Spanish?
Exactly. For example, in Catalonia, is in Spain, but one of the most common language in a lot of towns and cities here is Catalan. That's why it's very important to do this analysis if you already try to sell some kind of products that are very local or cultural related.
I guess the challenge is, though, some people in that region may still prefer to speak Spanish. So how do you identify the right person?
That's why it's very important to analyze very good your audience. If you really know how your audience is, and you work in this case with local experts, you will really know what is better for you. If it's to do it in Catalan or Spanish, depending on the product or the service, because there are differences usually on the audiences depending on the language they speak.
And staying with that specific example, can you actually get the Catalan version of a website translation ranked in Google?
If it's possible.
Well, if it's possible, but also obviously with hreflang, with specific language targeting, you have official and perhaps unofficial languages spoken within a region. So sometimes it's not possible, perhaps, for search engines to be asked to actually rank a specific version if it's perhaps not an official language in a region.
Sometimes it's difficult, especially if you want to only do a campaign for a product or a service in this country. So here it's better to complement it with paid strategies. But if you really want to build your brand in this country and you have all the site translated to this language, usually it will be easier for you to rank properly in this language in the region, either from a technical perspective or in a content way.
And you also advocate the importance of using diverse formats, so text, video, images, to connect with different audiences. So how do you know what the right format is for different audiences?
Here on one side, I will analyze my competition, see what they are doing when they try to sell this product or get people to know that product. And also here, what I will really do also is to do a keyword research. With the keyword research right now, and through different tools or also directly through generative AI or Google or other search platforms, you can analyze how people want that. For example, if you want to know step by step how to do something, usually you will see that the best response maybe it's an image or a video because it's what people want to see. If you do this kind of analysis and you do this kind of keyword research, it will be helpful for you to know exactly which is the best format for your audience to show this kind of a specific search-related query.
Okay, and again, how does this relate to ranking content? If you're perhaps delivering different content to different audiences, which version do you know to display to Google and other search engines?
100% you don't know, but usually if you've done all of this properly, if you analyze your competition, if you know your audience, probably you will offer the best format for them. And usually the best format for them is also the best format for Google, because this is what will offer them the best experience. So if this is the best experience, usually is what will rank better in search engines because it's what people want.
Okay, and you also say that personalized human-driven content in each language can help you gain more visibility. So gain more visibility in search as well.
Yeah, in search in each country. If you personalize it, for example, if you sell some products and you really know how people are looking for that product in this country, you can personalize it better. For example, some local products, people from this local region, they already know a lot about the product. So maybe they don't want a video with an explanation of what is this product. They maybe want a landing page, a transactional page where they can already buy this product. But maybe on another country, people don't know a lot about this product and maybe they want a video showing them what this is, or maybe they want an informational landing page explaining what this is about. So if you really know your audience, you did this keyword research and you analyze the competition, you can create this personalized content for them that will help and offer them a better experience and also will probably help you to rank better in each region.
Okay, so you talked about your process in terms of identifying who the audience is, doing your keyword research, analyzing the competition. Do you ever get to a stage where you're analyzing the competition and you're thinking, actually, the competition isn't right here, they're not delivering the right content for the audience, I'm going to do a different content strategy for my audience because I believe that I'll come up with something better? Maybe the competition is doing video and you believe that images and text is better. And if so, how do you make that sort of decision?
Here, on one side, it's very important to really know the product or the service that you are selling. And also, it's very important to know the audience and the market. So here, for example, if it's in Spain, I will know what is better, if it's better to do an article, a podcast, a video, or an image. However, to decide this in another country, I will really get support from local people because they will really help me understand if my new strategy that I will try to do there, it's really a proper focus or maybe it's something that in this country won't work.
So how do you measure success? Is it a combination between user engagement and perhaps some sort of buying signals or rankings on search engines?
Yeah, it's a combination to all of that. I will measure it in 4 different separated sections. One, I will measure market-specific rankings, keywords, and I will analyze how keywords perform or some pages perform in each country or regions. Second, I will analyze engagement metrics like click-through rate, scroll, or time that they spend on my pages. Third, I will analyze conversion and conversion rates by region and languages to see if I am really focusing my strategies to my right audience. And last but not least, I will also analyze brand mention and backlinks from local authoritative sources to my website or my products.
So it's all very well doing this perhaps on a one-to-one basis, just focusing on one page and improving things from there. How do you roll this out and deal with websites at scale for hundreds of thousands of pages? Can you think of any ways to actually do this on a more automated basis?
Yeah, totally. Although it will depend a lot on the kind of website or product that do you have. But basically what I will do here is to basically try to automatize and duplicate these strategies in all my channels. For example, if you really know how your products are and which are the main keywords for your products, for example, in Spain, here you can translate it and automate it a lot for other regions. I will try to see which actions work here and try to duplicate all the analysis I did for other countries. I mean, of course, it's not easy, but I will also use platforms or AI generative platforms to translate, not only translate, but to transcribe my contents to its language. And with all of that, of course, if you need to personalize it, not everything can be duplicated or only translated, but it will help you to save a lot of time for each region.
Gemma, what's the key takeaway from the tip you shared today?
My key takeaway for today is that if you really want to stand out today, not just from your competitors, but also from AI, it's essential to build your brand in every country and region. And to do that, you need to truly understand your audience in each market, personalize your content for them across the right formats, and always make sure you are showing EAT through all your different channels.
Gemma Fontané is a director at Orbit Digital. Find out more over at orbitdigital.com. Gemma, thanks so much for being part of SEO in 2026.
Thank you. It was a pleasure.
I've been your host, David Bain. Get your copy of SEO in 2026, the book, over at seoin2026.com.